What is up guys, Tim Murray here. Today we're going to be looking at how to clean up some seriously noisy single coil pickups in a mix. Check it out. And then with the effect. So some of you will have seen that in some of my videos this year I've been using guitars with single coil pickups or guitars with coil tap circuits in them. These guitars are of course my Squier vintage Jazzmaster baritone with these massive single coil pickups in both positions, known for being seriously noisy pickups which are hard to tame when using distorted tones. Next is my custom built Warmoth Telecaster with a bare knuckle silo pickup in the bridge and a flat 50 in the neck. The silo is quite high output which extends to the coil tap mode. And the guitar also doesn't have a tone knob due to having a piezo pickup volume control in its place, which doesn't help the issue at all. And finally, my newest guitar, the Solar Guitars A1.8C. It has high output pickups voiced for metal, which have coil splitting available on both pickups. Now all of these guitars succumb to some serious noise problems when playing sustained notes or chugs when using the single coils. This, coupled with the high gain tones that I use, makes this even more apparent. Now some of you may just say, just use a noise gate, and while you are partially correct, this will kick in super early to cover up the noise and render your sustained notes as staccato, making it ultimately unusable as a full solution. Others may also say just EQ out the highs before the guitar amp, which will also work, but then your guitar loses the awesome initial twangy sound from the single coil, making it dull sounding. Sure, you could just manually apply automation to this, but that's going to be a massive task, taking away from the creative process. So what you need to have then is some form of chain that can effortlessly combine all of the aspects from above, gating and dynamic EQing without the need for automation. This is what I'll be showing you today. Now I will be showing you this within the context of Ableton Live, specifically Suite Edition. However, you don't have to use Ableton for this. I won't be able to show you this in every digital audio workstation, but the concept should be able to be applied to any DAW. Some third-party plugins should also be able to do this if your DAW doesn't support this concept. So, all of the wizardry behind this technique is applied before your amplifier or amp sim plugin. This is because the problem originates from the pickups. The amp is just worsening the issue. So, best to remove a little bit of noise before the amp, than to remove a hell of a lot of noise after the amp, if you get what I mean. Firstly, I have Ableton Live's Noise Gate plugin at the start of my chain. This is more so to clean up the faster staccato playing, but still aids in reducing noise. The idea is that the signal will be cut when the signal drops below a certain user set threshold. Attack and release determines how fast the gate opens and closes. I'd recommend setting attack as low as it can go because otherwise it will smooth out your hard picking, making it sound like shit. Hold will of course hold the signal open by the time specified when the signal drops below the threshold, and floor determines how low the signal gets dropped to when the gate is closed. Seeing as not many people know what this next thing does on noise gates, I'll quickly explain it here. This return control here, which is more commonly referred to as hysteresis, allows you to give the gate separate thresholds for opening and closing. Say you want your gate to allow signal through at -40 dB, but close at -50 dB, you would set the threshold at -40 dB and then set hysteresis at 10 dB. This means that once the gate is opened at -40 dB, it won't close again until the signal is under -50. This stops the gate from chattering, the issue caused when it rapidly opens and closes, due to the incoming audio level being close to the threshold. If it drops below -50 dB, it's not going to rapidly activate anymore, as the signal needs to be much higher to reactivate. Hopefully that explains it because it is a really clever control. Now the next plugin is where the magic happens. This plugin is a Max for Live device called Envelope Follower. You don't need to have this in your chain for those of you using Ableton Standard or Lite editions, but it does give you a lot more control over the next part. What this plugin does is exactly the same concept as the key input on a noise gate. This plugin doesn't change the way the audio sounds at all, but it is constantly listening to the incoming signal and tracking its amplitude or volume changes. When you pick harder, the amplitude is higher. This plugin then allows you to map the amplitude data to literally anything you want in Ableton Live. You could even map this to the tempo control, though I have no idea why you would want to do that. So, to move to the next plugin in the chain in which the envelope follower is mapped to, this is the stock auto filter plugin from Ableton Live. This allows you to apply different filter types to your signal, for example, low pass, high pass, band pass, and band reject or notch filter. In this example, I have the filter set to a low pass filter, which will gradually cut out the high end as determined by the frequency knob here. I have mapped the envelope follower to the frequency knob, simply by clicking down here to the map button, and then clicking frequency. Done. So, what does this actually do then? Well, what it does is basically the same as the gate, but instead it gradually cuts out the high frequencies of your direct guitar signal when it gets quieter. When you pick hard, the filter opens up completely, giving you that twangy single coil sound you know and love. But when you sustain a note and that ugly hissing noise starts creeping in, this removes it from your signal entirely, without affecting the fundamental and main harmonics of your guitar signal. This then gets fed into your amplifier, which will no longer accentuate any hissing sounds because, well, they're not there to begin with. Not only does this get rid of the noise by basically gating it, it doesn't really affect the main sound of the guitar, so it won't sound muffled and dull either. Hence why I think that this technique is an absolute must when using single coils with distorted tones. Now, this technique may still let a little bit of noise through occasionally, most notably with palm mutes, but this is significantly less than before. Check it out. Pretty awesome, eh? Pretty awesome. So that's all for this video. I really hope that this helps you in cleaning up your noisy single coils. If this tutorial did help you out at all, please leave a like so this video is easier for other people with the same issue to find. If you have any other issues you want me to fix for you in a tutorial video like this, fire them down in the comment section below, and I'll address each one. So thanks for watching, Timmy out.